See, they're afraid. Stay in the limits that science says you have to stay in. Why? They're all lies. I've tried to say that. Well, I can prove that there was dinosaurs and that went on in history. And I said, yeah, I know all that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, when did man come here? It didn't come from a reptile. It didn't come from a toad or a snake, any of those kind of creatures. Then we can go to the fish or even the animals, deer, elk, things like that, bear. We didn't come from them either. So theory of evolution means one cell broke into two cells, that broke into three cells, created another cell, and that became something. And even if it became something, for that to evolve into one thing would take 1 million years. Now, with that happening, that one thing would have to be perfect. And I don't see how two things just without any guidance. It's like you went through college without going through college and you just became college graduate. Impossible. Unless you're aware of your past life as you went to school and went through it and became that. So the idea of that is totally ridiculous, ludicrous. But in evolution, there's a couple different theories, like we came here on a meteorite. Really? You think a cell created us and it turned into a human? Well, it turned into an embryo of a cell. And that mutated into a worm, a caterpillar, a butterfly. Yeah, let's play the game. All these things. So that means we all came from each other. I mean, Robert Williams did a show about dolphins. I can't get it. I had it. Where they had a dolphin with these cow's legs on it. And he said that's because the dolphins came from a cow. A cow doesn't have a brain like a human does. A dolphin does. Totally ludicrous statements science makes. And I can go into all that. That'll just take us so far out of content. But real fast, all the animals dying, all the fish dying, all the birds dying. Listen to science's reasoning for any of it. And none of it's true. None of it. Lightning bolts, firecrackers, fireworks, wind, and everything else under the sun. Two birds don't fly into each other and kill each other. Two birds that fly up don't make a whole flock of birds fly into each other and kill each other. I mean, did you ever watch the movie The Birds? No matter how they filmed it and everything else, but birds, when they fly, I was on a lake dead of night on a rowboat fishing, and I was going into shore, but it was pretty dark, so I wasn't really seeing much, and I only realized at the last second that I was rowing right into a flock of geese that was sitting on the lake, and it was a couple hundred, and they all flew up. I'm not covering my head, so I don't get anything on my head or anything like that, but they all flew up. And they had big birds, and they're powerful. Not one of them hit another one. Why is that? I scared them, they jumped, and they flew. So when you hear theories of why animals die in mass numbers and they come up with something ridiculous other than like government's putting out a toxin waste that's killing them, that would be real. But they're not going to say that. The beams and sound waves of the harp is destroying a lot of creatures. They're not going to say that. I'm in Hawaii. Supposedly the most beautiful place in the world. I go to the ocean every day now. Do you think I could see one dolphin jump out of the water? I could see for miles and miles. Do I see one dolphin ever? I was in the Jersey Shore and I could go by the ocean and at least see dolphins once a day or whatever. And even when it was toxic. So here the water's supposed to be so beautiful and there's no dolphins. And there's no birds. And there's no fish. But they're catching fish. Numbers must be really low. Something's happening, but it's not natural. So when science comes out, well, it's a natural disaster or natural cause. It's never natural. And people say everything that's happening is natural. The earthquakes. And I said, if you had a brain, anybody out there, did research on fracking, the HARP system, chemtrails, they would know the Earth's toxic, being destroyed at every level. inside and out. And then the next question you really need to ask is why? Well, we can get into that a little bit later. All right, I want to go back to humans. What is a human? What were they when they were first brought here? Humans. What are they now? Humans. What's the difference? Ego. Anything else different? I challenge all these stupid, ignorant scientists. Sorry, people, if you are one. Sorry. You believe theories that are not true. You believe lies about life and death. You believe a lot of lies. Can I prove it? Do I have to? No. Whatever I prove to you, let's try to prove it wrong anyway. Because truth is not staying out mainstream. Only the lies are. So are we smarter than we were? And you'll hear aliens, ancient aliens, the most ridiculous show on TV. And people are flocking to it, going to the conferences, spending all their money to listen to these fools tell their stupid ideas. And I could say a lot of names. My computer's trying to say restart, but I don't want it to. What do I do? Okay, it's going to let me restart some other time, which I want to do. Okay, that sounds good. All right. So, sorry about that. I don't want my computer to shut off. I'm in the middle of a show either. So, here we are, and we're going into these different things about the human race and what we perceive to be human, what we accept to be human. Well, it's a battle. And on the line, I see a lot of emails saying, support scientists. I don't. Because what scientists say changes every year or every 10 years. If they say hot dogs are good for you, they'll say tomorrow they're dangerous. Next week they'll say coffee is really good for you. You should have 2 cups a day. Then they'll say wine's good for you. You have to have 1 glass a day. And then they'll say, no, it's not good for you. Then they'll say eggs are better for you. And then they'll say they're not. So science just goes around in a circle because you're dealing with physical things that stay in a circle. And when people talk about that circle, they don't realize the lowest realm, which is planet Earth, and this dimension, reality, and all the universes within it, are in that circle. It goes around and around. Why do atoms go around in circles? Why do protons, neutrons, electrons bounce around each other in a circle? Not a circle, but they stay in that movement. The planets go around and around. Everything goes around and around. So that's, I guess, why the flat Earth people with the flat heads say the Earth's flat. But, no, we got to wake up sometime soon, and hopefully it's sooner than later. Man, M-A-N, think you're better. Even though they say we're equal, everybody goes, oh, we're all equal. In their mind, oh, I'm better than him. I mean, a homeless person, well, I'm better than him. You're better than people that don't have money. It's always about what makes you better, your job, your house, your car. Not you as a person. And here's, I spent 20 years going to people's houses on a daily basis. On a weekly basis means 5, 6 days a week. I went into 8 to 10 houses a day. That's a lot. I lived in a city, so I didn't have to drive really far to the next job and everything else. But out of those people, I'd at least get one elderly person in a day. When I started working at projects, it was mostly elderly people or whatever. And then once every couple of days, I'd get a rich person. You know the difference between both? Rich people usually, or almost always, have an ego. Oh, thank you. Send me that link. Glad. I appreciate it. I had the video, Robert Williams' video with the dolphins. It's really good, except for him saying that dolphins, came from a whale. Ridiculous statement, but because I don't want to get into it. Watch the movie but it explains how smart and intelligent what dolphins can do. All right. So when we talk about when I worked in a phone company, I went to these people's houses on a daily basis. The elderly people were always the nicest. Always. The rich people were always the most snottiest. Is that prejudice? I learned to be that because I saw the truth behind it. And then they always relate to what Jesus said about it. And in my viewpoint, Jesus was never a liar, never claimed to be God. So everything about him is the most realist, important thing to me in this life now. Has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with the program stories in the Bible. Has a lot to do with Lucifer, aliens, and everything else. He spoke about that, but it's not in the Bible. He spoke to his disciples, or I should say his apostles. He was teaching them. He wasn't saying, love thy neighbor, and he'd say that over and over all day long to help them love thy neighbor. What do you think he was teaching them? People are so ignorant they don't want to know. They want to say they taught him love and then that he's going to take away their sins and they're going to go to heaven. That's all they care about. Man's guilt is just pouring out of him constantly. And he always wants to be forgiven. And that's why the Catholic religion says, okay, get forgiveness. You're forgiven for it. Really? Some man claiming to be an egotistical high person is going to get rid of that problem? Just as the Pope said today, he's going to put it out there and say, child abuse isn't going to happen again. Really? I guess he waved his magic wand, put on his pulpit hat, and sang a song, and it's all going to change the reality of the human race. We're no longer going to be animals. We're going to be humans. We're going to stand on our 2 feet and walk high. Really? So, again, when I talk, I know people don't like the truth, and it's hard for them to hear it. Because the truth hurts, especially when you're programmed with multiple lies. So you don't want to hear it. And you're not going to ever hear me not say truth 10,000 times in a workshop or a class or a lecture. Because it is the most important word. You need to learn what it is. Hearing the word, saying the word, reading what the word is not finding the truth. Because when I say I found the truth and everybody else says they found the truth, who do you think found the truth? Everybody else that said they found it? What can they tell you about the truth? That nobody knows anything? When they always say, well, nobody knows the truth, when nobody knows the real truth. So you're saying you have a fake truth that you believe in. I love to bust people when they say they have the truth. And so what makes you think you know the truth? I say, here's one little way to prove it to yourself. Take whatever your truth is, good, bad, different, however you perceive it, put it into reality. Does it help? Does it change? Does it make anything better or worse? What's it relate to on this planet? Why people abuse each other? Why people have to drink? Why people get married and get divorced? Where's the boundary? Where does it really go together? Does it really? Do you believe that? Do you believe that there is no truth? These people that say, well, they have their own truth. Own means ridiculous truth. When an alien says they have the truth, better beware. Because they've been here way longer than we have. Came, went. What do they help the human race do? Listen to the ignorant, foolish statements about the Anunnaki. And if Zachariah Sitchin was alive, I would strap him to a chair and debate him until he died anyway. Because his lies, his false truth, his ideas. You can't be spiritual and tell lies. You can't tell stories. Then again, nobody knows what the word spiritual really means or can become that. Not on planet Earth. You can be on a quest for it and work your way towards it. But when you become that, you leave. There's no reason to stay. So, all right, when we say, all right, I'm looking for the truth, I know the truth now. I do. And I put it into my view of the world. A man becoming spiritual. No, show me one. Show me one. Well, I'm a good person. Do you have to say it? How do you prove it? Well, look at what I did. What'd you do? I donated money. How much money